Today we continuing with our course on the Java concurrency. So today we learn about acquiring locks for threads in instances where you have an instance of an object, and is being accessed by several threads. So if object per se is not thread safe, so I'll show you how to implement locks for each thread so that at any particular time the current thread that's performing an operation or manipulating the object, it isn't interfered by another thread until it has finished the operations. So as you know, in concurrency, multiple threads can access the same object, but typically we'll have a problem where one particular thread is maybe changing the state of the object, maybe a particular field or something, and another one is accessing the field. So typically you'll end up having a corruption of the data that in this other thread is trying to access, or we can have a situation like the rest condition, whereby for a particular period of time or the operation is consistent, your program will be consistent, then later on you start finding unexpected values which you don't know where they came from. So today we'll implement the locks. Sorry, I started earlier. So we implement these concepts where you lock a thread to a particular object and wait for it to finish, then another one takes. And you'll find sometimes you have, let's say, a thread performing a condition, an action on the object, and in the object you have a condition that a condition first has to be met for the thread to proceed the computation or the function it's supposed to do. So in such a case, you can instead of you can have a condition object that puts the, let's say we can say it puts the thread on hold until the condition is met, then it can resume. So at any particular time when an object has acquired a lock and is processing and it has met a point where the condition is actually not meeting, the condition is not true for it to continue, it enters the wait set. Okay, so to implement such, you can have say the class I've named thread safe bank class. Yeah. So here we have created the class which implements a hash map. So the bank, it's an implementation of a bank where it stores multiple accounts. Yeah. So instead of a list, I say let's use with a hash map which is mnemonic and you can access the accounts easily. So here we've created the class, the thread safe bank, which extends the hash map. Yeah. And it has the two fields, which is a bank lock, which will be the lock which this bank has, and the sufficient funds will be the condition, yeah, the condition object for the lock. Yeah. So here we have the constructor of the thread safe bank, which takes a string account name and initial balance, which is of type double, and in it we initialize the hash map, which is this class is a hash map, by calling the super.put. We put the account name and the initial balance for it. Yeah, good. And then we initialize also the bank lock, which will use the implementation of lock called reentrant lock, and the sufficient funds, which is a condition. We will get the condition from this bank lock with the new condition method. Here now we have the transfer funds. Like in the previous video we had the transfer funds, so here it's the same implementation but differently. So here we have the method transfer funds, which will transfer funds from one account to another. Yeah. So it will, the constructor of it will take the account name from which the funds are to be transferred, and the account name to which the accounts are to be transferred, and the amount to be transferred. So here we can have the doc string to document our code for easier. So here we have this method, transfer funds from one account to another. We can specify the parameters. We have the from account, which is their account name to transfer from, yeah. And we can have another parameter, which is the to account, the account name to transfer to, yeah. Then we can have the last one, which is the amount, parameter, which is the amount to transfer. Yeah, good. So now we implement the method here. Yeah. So here, it's functionality. We are supposed to transfer the amount from one account to another. Yeah. So this method will have to check if the amount to be transferred, the account is capable or has the sufficient funds to perform the particular transfer. Yeah. So here we have the log. So we can use the synchronous method, but that we'll learn it in the next lesson. For now, we'll do the logs. So we need to log this method because it manipulates this object. Yeah, we need to lock it first, so the operation between will be locked to one particular thread. So we start by locking this particular code block next to it, or this method, by first giving it a lock or locking it. So we can with the bank lock, which is we defined. So we have the bank lock dot we lock, yeah, with this method to lock the preceding code block. Yeah. So here, after the lock, we have to unlock the lock after we have done the operation. So in order to make sure that at any point after the execution of this, or when the method has failed, we have to make sure that the lock is unlocked, so that another thread can acquire the lock to prevent a deadlock situation whereby your program hangs. So we'll put the actual code you want to do in a try. Yeah, in a try. And then we're not catching an exception here because we just want to use the finally to unlock. So we have to, so that we make sure this lock is unlocked. So we can do a bank lock dot unlock. Yeah. Good. Now a particular procedure or a code will be inside the try block. Yeah. So the first step we'll do is to check for the condition that the amount you want to transfer, the account from which you want to transfer the amount, actually has the funds to perform that transaction. So we can use the while loop to check for that. So we can say, since we are using the conditions, so we can say like while here. So here we can document it. It's good always to comment your code. So here, let's say we are here we lock the section of the code. Let's say we lock the section right here, and then our code here, and then here we unlock it. Yeah, we unlock this section. Okay, so here we have we check, we perform a test, we test for funds. Yeah, you can do that. So we have while, we can have a, okay, pardon, I bookmarked it. we don't need to delete the bookmark, so we can say while. Now while we want to say, so long as if the account you want to transfer from doesn't have the sufficient funds, you wait for it to have sufficient funds, then you do the transfer. So we can implement that by using the while loop. We say while the from account, while we can use, since it's an object, we've created it, we can use this, while this dot, we can get, since that's a key, this is a map, we can get the account, the from account here, while this dot get from account, it's actual balance. It's like saying, well, the balance is less than the amount you want to, the amount you want to transfer, you should wait for it to be enough for you to perform. So you can use this. So saying you should wait, you put this thread in which it's trying to perform that operation into the wait set, so that it can wait until the balance for the account you want to transfer from is sufficient to perform the transaction. Then it will proceed with the transaction. Yeah. So it's short, you're telling it to wait. So we can do sufficient funds. We call this sufficient funds dot we await for that condition to be true. Yeah. So here we have a problem, we have an exception, so we can catch the exception or throw it. Okay, so we can throw it here, or let's just ignore it for now. We can just ignore the exception, yeah, which is an interrupted exception. Yeah, can be ignored. Yeah, can just ignore it for now. Yeah, we'll use it when we need it. Yeah. So we call the await, yeah, and as it awaits, we can proceed with the transaction, which another method. Now we are giving chance. As this method waits, we have here, in short, we are releasing the lock for another method to perform these transactions. And when the method that when another thread performs this transaction, basically it's manipulating the data too, so it will basically change the account, the value of the from account. Yeah, so we want to be notified every time a thread changes or manipulated this account, because there's a possibility that it will increase the balance, or the from account balance, to a sufficient balance for this transaction to occur. So here you can do the transfer. So this will be the other thread. If the thread that is intended to do this is on wait, or let's say it's blocked for that reason, so with the other thread, you give chance for other threads to proceed and notify the thread that is waiting whenever it changes the balance of an account. Yeah, good. So here we can first step, yeah, we have to deduct the amount from the account which you want to transfer from, and add the amount to the account you want to transfer to. So we can first debit the from account, we debit from account. Yeah, by doing so, we have so in order to change this, we can do this dot okay, let's see if we have a set, or we'll have to use the views. Yeah, we'll have to use the views. So we can say this dot key set. So we've gotten the key set, which is a view. So this dot key set, or we need a value set. Okay, we use key set or value set. Okay, we get a key set. Yeah, let's just use the key set. So I get the key set. This dot key set dot let's we stream it. Okay, this dot key set, we have a set of keys, and we need to set a value. So we won't use the string. We actually have a method that can perform that much easily. Or we have to, okay, we can say, let's use the value set. So the value set, we have the values, which will have the collection dot okay, we can only add, we cannot change, is it immutable? So I think we'll just do this. So this dot, can we get it and we change the value? So we can say this dot get, let's just use the longer way. We can get the account, the from account. We want to debit the from account. So here we have the value of from account, then we can, so here we can't use the minus equals to the amount. Yeah, we'll have a problem there. We actually need, what can we use? Okay, let's see the suggestions. Yeah, we can use this. So this dot get from account, which is the value, equals to this dot get from account, and so this is the same thing, so it wouldn't work. So what can we use here? What can we use to manipulate it? Okay, this we don't have a set here. Oh, we can actually use the put then. So we can use this dot put the account, the from account, and the value will be this dot get. You can use the get, yeah, then from account, yeah, the value will be this one, get from account, then you deduct the amount, yeah, which is first, yeah, that will work, yeah. So here we have debited from the from account. Now we need to credit the to account, yeah. So here we need to credit to account, yeah. So we need to credit the to account, so we can perform the same thing we do with this dot we can put this thing is the to account, and the value will be s dot get to account, then you credit the amount, yeah. Yeah, good. So I think that's essentially will work. So we have that, yeah. So we've credited it, and lastly we need to notify all the potential waiting threads that are waiting for this condition to be true. We notify them that we've manipulated the data, and there's a possibility that the condition now favors them so that they can be unlocked. So finally we can notify the others. So we can do sufficient funds dot notify. We can notify all or singular, but we'll use all potentially waiting threads. So here we are done with this method. That's all that we want. So here we can say we are notifying waiting threads. Okay, threads, let's see, threads, and the wait set, yeah, I think that will be sufficient. So then we are done with the transfer funds method. Now we need to implement we already have the set method, so we need to implement also a method to get the total balance of all of these accounts, so that we can check that no corruption of data has occurred. So we can have another method here, public, that returns double, and we can get total balance. Yeah, good. And this will return, we need to have all the total balances, so we can return, we can just use, okay, let's have a variable here which is a double, and we have, let's name it total balance, which will return. Give it a value of this. Then we need to have the values that we can convert them to a list themselves. So we have we'll have to convert them to a string, then to list. So we have now lists, or potentially we can reduce it first. We can use the reduce first to get the total value, and we use a method reference for double addition, for summation of double. Then we call this sum, so we add it sum. Then now it's an optional object, we convert it back to string, then to a list, and convert it to a list. Since it will be one item in the list, we can get from that list the first item, which is the only item. We can perform that. Now then we can return the total balance. Can return the total balance. Now here we can comment it. We compute the total balance. Good. So we can also document this method. You can say here you get the total, the total balance. Okay, you can say it's generally the overall balance. So it's not called the total. So we can say get the overall, the overall balance. Overall balance of all the accounts. So the total, it's better, so we can say the total balance of all the accounts. So here it doesn't take any parameter, but it returns a parameter, so you can use that return. You can use the HTML elements in this, so it returns a double object. yeah, times a double, which is the total balance. Yeah. Good, I think here it's sufficient for now. We have a complete class here created. Yeah. So now to test it, in order to test it, we can have the test class. Yeah. Using JUnit, which is a lesson for another video test. You can have a main method here and carry out your tests, but I prefer to use the test so that the class can just be an implementation of class, and all the test cases to be on the test folder. So here we can generate a test for this class. Okay, so yeah, we can generate a test. And here we can generate a test for this class. Yeah. So it's the 3-step bank test. Here we have it. Yeah. So this is our test class. Yeah. So we can have here the test method to perform our tests. So we can call it the public and void since it's just testing, and we can call it thread bank test. Yeah, it's good to have definitive names for our variables. Yeah, so here it's where we'll perform our tests. So typically we'll create so actually let's log so we can see everything that happens. We can log in the console what's happening here. So from here we can print out what's actually happening, the balance, so that you can see the balance from the account when we perform the transaction. So we can have an else out here. Sorry, you can use so we print a line here. Okay, you can say this is much better. So we can print a line here saying, so we can say we carried out a transfer. Can say it's a transfer of which will be the amount to be transferred, and we can give it a precision of 2 decimal points. Yeah. 12. Yeah, the width is not so it's a transfer of this amount from which will have the account, from this account to that account, which this account will inside here, let's give it the balance for the transaction. So we can do, since it will be monetized, we can do the let's just use with the precisions to this account, which is a string, and we have so we formatted to this account which had the balance, and we can see the balance now, balance of the debited account is, now this is the balance of the debited account. We can use also that. So let's correct this a little bit. That's the balance. then here we can have, okay, we can have, so we want to transfer of, which is the amount. Let's put the amount of this amount from the from account, from this dot get the from account, yeah. Then we have which the balance, which will have the balance of okay, pardon a little bit. Yeah, so which will have the balance of, yeah, which will have, yeah, okay, yeah, on this account. So we can use yeah, this will have the expected effects, yeah. Yeah, so here, yeah, was this other one necessary? From the from account, we can just use, instead of get here, yeah, this will get the result. So we can use here instead, we can have the from account, then this was the balance, then we can have two account, and we have this dot get to, pardon, to dot get to, okay, to account, yeah. So that's good. And the balance now, okay, from this to this, yeah. I don't think if this will just tell us the balance, so this isn't necessary. We can just omit that, yeah. So here we'll document what has happened, and we can also do the same so that we can log the other one. We can actually, let's say, just copy it instead of duplicating it, and then we have it here. So we have login purposes. So we have here, we are crediting, here we transferred so from this, yeah, the same thing again, so that we can see the change here. So this is good. I think it's quite well, so we can proceed with our tests here. So first we create the ThreadSafe bank objects. So we have ThreadSafe bank objects, let's say bank, call them bank, yeah. It's a new ThreadSafe bank object. Let's say account name is account 1, yeah, the initial balance, let's say it's 5,000, yeah, 25,000, okay. Then we create multiple, like 4, 5 accounts, yeah. So here we'll have bank 1, we'll have bank 2, bank 3, bank 4, yeah. Then here we'll definitely have account 4. Let's put just the random values here. We can have random values. We can have random values here. Yeah. Then here we can have account 2, account 3, account 4, and account, let's see, 5 accounts. Yeah, good. So here we have the accounts. Yeah, then now let's have a couple of threads which will run concurrently. So we'll perform transfers. So let's create runnables that will pass into our threads, or we can create the threads directly. So we can have a thread here. Let's say it's a thread, and we can call it you can just call it a task here. Task 1, okay. The first task to do. And we'll use random numbers so we can implement random manipulation. Yeah, we can implement random manipulations here. So we can be a new thread, and we pass in our runnable here inside, perform what we want it, perform the task we need. So for the task here, first we'll transfer amount from random, okay, randomly, yeah. So we can actually let's have just one bank object, so we can manipulate that one bank object from multiple threads. So here we can do the transactions. So we can have the bank here inside, and we transfer funds. So from account here, actually let's have 5 accounts here to make sense. Let's have just 5 accounts, so we can manipulate the 5 accounts here inside. Okay? So we have we want to transfer, okay, so yeah, I think here the way we need instead of creating new instances, let's just create a method to add. Yeah, so let's have a method here, another method to add an account. Public, okay, is void, call it add account. Yeah, so that will be better. Inside it takes an account which is still a string, the account name, okay, the account name, and a double initial balance. Yeah, initial balance. Yeah, that will be better. On this side, so we can use this put. Yeah. Actually, we don't need this because we already have the method here. We don't need this. We can just, I'm sorry for the inconveniences. We can just put several accounts, because it's still the bank is still a hash map, so we can just do bank.put. We can put another account which say account 2, and then will be account say 2, yeah, and the balance will be, let's put anything, yeah. So let's say maximum balance to be like 30,000, yeah. So we can implement that. Okay, so we have the account name. Sorry, here we have okay, it's an integer. cause a double, yeah, but this double, yeah, so we can put in 0 to satisfy it, yeah. Then we can have multiple accounts, so yeah, we can have multiple accounts, and we can have multiple accounts. Okay, this will be better. So we can have multiple accounts as such, and then we need to rename this to account 3, account 4, 5th account, and then 6th account. Yeah, I think that is good. So inside here now we'll manipulate the accounts. So we can do a bank transfer. Okay, let's do this multiple of times. We want to actually perform this multiple of times, number of times, let's say, so that we can see it's consistent. Let's say somebody performs this task, let's say 5 times, took us 5 times. So we can say we can use the for loop, yeah, for I, for int I, integer I equals to 0. The I should be less than, let's say we want to carry it for 5 times. Then I can do I plus, okay, good. So inside here we perform the transfer, so we can do bank dot transfer from, let's say, account 4, and transfer from account 4 to say account 3. Yeah, it's a string account, let's say 1, let's use account 1, and we have the amount, say want to transfer 20,000, good. So we can have that, doing that 5 times, yeah, and then we can slip it here, thread, it can perform a slip of, let's say, let's put 400 milliseconds, yeah. Then doing so we'll need to catch that, so we can use this. Okay, you can put it inside a try. Yeah, and we can catch, yeah. Interrupted exception, we can ignore it. Yeah. So we can have that, and we have, let's have another thread, like today let's have like 3 threads. So we can have 3 threads, or let's say 4. So the second one, which is task 2, let's say let's name it task 2. It transfers funds from account, let's say 5, to account 2, and we have here another task. Task 3 transfers from the first account to the second account, and we have task 4 here. Have task 4 here, which transfers from the second account to the third account. Yeah, so we have our threads. Then we can ignite or execute the threads. So we can use task. So we say task 1 and we start it. Yeah, then we can have 2 more. So we can have task 2, task 3, and lastly task 4. Yeah, good. So now we can test this to see how it runs. So let's run it. So here is our result. Okay. Okay, here we have an exception because the current thread, we are told, is not an owner of the object currently. Yeah. So we have a transfer here. Then we have here. Okay, one method relinquished the lock, and yeah. So let's just have one thread. See, so we can troubleshoot what we are having or what we are facing here. Yeah, so let's see one instance first before we do the main instances. Yeah, the first one exited gracefully. So we transferred 20,000 from the fourth account, which is not sufficient enough, and under lock. So that runs well. So let's troubleshoot the others. You can comment it for now and comment each thread singularly. So let's check the second thread. I think we have to comment lines by lines. Okay. So let's run it. So also that did well. So we check the third thread here. That one. Yes, the third thread that we are having a problem with. So guys, okay, you've seen the simple. Tomorrow we'll continue with the troubleshooting this, and we'll pick up from there. Thank you for watching. Let's meet in another video.